Greetings, citizens from the rolling hills of the bluegrass. So I've been trying to figure out how I wanted to say this, but basically what it is is this idea. So the left, for the last 4 years and probably for a long time, has been building coalitions. That's one of the things that you always hear from one of their talking points. We need allyship. We need to bring people together. A big tent. You hear the Republicans talk about this too. We need the big tent that is Republican Party. They borrowed that from, of course, the leftists, because numerically, the left may be the largest group, but it probably has some of the greatest fractures in it, some of the greatest camps inside of its side of the political chessboard. Because numerically, they're insignificant to the whole. But when you bring them together, boom, you've got a majority. And that's where the idea of the mob is the mob comes in. Because the exact amount of pressure on the whole of society. But they only do that because they are coalitioned. So without any great effort on their part, other than catering to those individual interest groups, they're able to build a platform or a voter base that, for the most part, just wants to go along to get along. They want to look good. They want to be seen in the eyes of the people and those around them as good people. We are nice. We do things for others. Unfortunately, you can rope yourself in and get tied to ideas and tied to people that, if you actually step back and look at them and you go, well, I don't know if I agree with that. And I don't know if that's really the direction we should be going. But you're tied to them. You're in the mob now. You're a made person. You've been chosen. You've shown your colors. You've done your initiation ritual. You're in. And you can't get out. Because if you get out, that means you're going to go to the other side, and that can't be allowed. So they have an enforcement arm. Right? And it used to be just flatly the government. Right? The enforcers. Maybe, depending on how you want to look at it, the hitmen of the mob is the government. So, you're in. You've been given your stripes and your credentials. You're able to walk around and you go, yeah, I'm one of the people. I'm one of them. And the right started to play into this. And I was reading a hideous article about how they phrase it, white cisgendered men aren't helping to advance the cause of diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI. These people are like the military. They just love their acronyms. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. And us old white people, old white fuddy-duddy men, aren't participating in these things like picnics and marches and parades. And we're just more, the thing that they cited as the excuse is we're too busy. We got things to do. Which is kind of funny, because it's like, well, I have things to do. You go do that. You do you. I've got to go do me. And that's not good, according to the mob. The mob says, no, you got to come and do what we're doing so that we know that you're on our side. Okay, all right. This is exactly the crap that got us into Iraq. This is the go along to get along. These are the news anchors, saying, oh, well, it's wartime, so you should just shut up. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's a really good way to look at things. Not that there's never been a war waged in history just for the aggrandizement of the elites. Never. Okay, sure. We can go with that. We can go with that kind of reality if you want. Or we could go with the real reality that, no, I am not going to go along to get along. I have things to do. I have my life to live. I'm glad you're doing your thing, 100%. Go for it. But I don't have to be a part of it. Oh, no, but you have to. Then you'll be a good ally. Well, I don't want to be a good ally. I want to be your neighbor. I want to be, maybe a friend, a colleague. I want to be someone in your life. But I don't want to be your ally. If someone comes against you to physically harm you, I'll probably help defend you. But I don't want to be your ally. No entangling alliances, remember? We were warned against those kinds of things. But the left doesn't realize that right now. The left has yoked themselves to a side of the political spectrum that does not play well with other people. I've said this before. The leftists, the true leftists, do not play well with other people. And at some point that alliance is going to break down because, right, intersectionality and this idea, sometimes those things come together. But what's the main function of an intersection? Eventually they diverge and move in opposite directions. That's the point. Yes, there might be this central locus, which is a redundant phrase. There might be this locus that everything runs to, but at some point it moves away from that central point as well. It's the hub on the wheel, the spoke of the bike, right? But for some reason, they then turn that intersection into a circle, a roundabout with only an entrance and no exit. And that's where the left and the liberals are right now. The liberals are in the mob, but there's no way out. And the Republicans have this problem too, but they have successfully, for the most part, gotten rid of the extreme right. The Republicans. We'll say the Republicans have done this. The extreme right has been done what it was supposed to do. They've pushed them far out, and so now whenever someone comes up and goes, well, I just think that this certain minority, the Republicans immediately go, nope, out with you, out, get out, get out. And they do that fairly effectively. They're a little slow sometimes on the uptake because, again, they've got this allyship kind of a thing going on where they don't want to completely burn a bridge until it is absolutely necessary to blow the bridge. Right? Saving Private Ryan on the bridge, shooting a tank with a handgun. Do not blow the bridge until we absolutely have to. Well, the tank's coming and all you have is a handgun. It might be a good time to blow the bridge. So we understand that the right can do that fairly effectively. Isolate. They do the Alinsky thing. Isolate it and throw it out. But the left can't do that because they're in the mob. And the mob contains everybody who's an ally. They're stuck in the roundabout. This is Paris. This is the Griswolds going around and around and around. So why? Well, again, it's like everything else. It's power. They want their version of the world to be seen through to the end. They want their version of the world, and they will ally with whoever that will get them to it. Okay. Isn't that going to destroy you in the process? Because you're going to have to give up things in this coalition. You're going to have to yield. You're going to have to make your principles and your ideas malleable. But what happens whenever you don't? Whenever you go, no, I'm not budging on this one thing. I agree with 99% of what you're saying, but this one thing, I think we need a little bit of a kid gloves. We need some nuance, as they say. Well, no. Now you're a heretic. Now you're thrown out. Because you didn't go along with the mob. Who made you a made person, made man. Right? This thing between us. Right? The Muerta. You can't get out. There is no way out. What is it? That's the thing from the Lord of the Rings. The way is shut. The voices in the deep. Well, the voices in the deep are in the streets. They're right there. And left is just kind of meekly, yeah, we're all together, hooray, hooray. But in the background, there's the real thugs. There's the real enemy behind you. It's the one going, this is what you believe. We know what's right. And we're going to make you. And that's the reason why, the Lincoln Project. You just get this they frustrate me to no end, to the point that it makes me just, my brain fizzes like a firecracker, and it's ready to just explode whenever I say the Lincoln Project, because you all saw the video where they kind of obliquely or parallelly described the people who are in the streets now that we call, or that call themselves Antifa, are equivalent to the people who stormed the beaches at Normandy, and you just want to wring your fists so tightly. You grab a sock or a pillow or something, you just squeeze it, because you can't do that to a real human being, because that would, of course, violate the non-aggression principle, but you still got to get that anger out, and you just kind of relax afterwards. Okay, that's good. But then you realize that the Lincoln Project is still there, so you got to squeeze that sock again. And it's Antifa is anti-fascist. Okay. We understand the term. But they destroy everything. Because the world that they are fighting against is the world that they see causing all of their problems. And so you destroy the world to create the new one that you want to see, that is going to be good and fair and just, and part of a greater whole, part of the mob, part of the group, the allyship, all of these words that just chunk people into vapid, empty groups that have no purpose whatsoever. We're in the insane asylum, and they've opened up all the doors, but all the internal cell doors, but they've locked all the exits. And so now, yeah, we get to run around and be all crazy and fun and blah blah, but we can't get out into the wider world, right? The cave, the shadows running along the wall. We're locked in, and we can't get away. And this is that, the John Galt moment where people say, nope, I'm out. What if you can't get out? That's the reason why you've got this economic movement, right? The push by the G7 to have a worldwide 15% corporation tax. I'm no fan of corporations. I fear corporate power as much as I do governmental power, because corporations have in the past acted just like governments. We had it down in Harlan. For those of you who know Kentucky and may have seen the TV series, what is it? Oh, well, I've forgotten the name of it, but there's a song, never leave Harland alive. What the coal companies did to those people. And the funny thing is that then those people were union people. So you have socialists fighting against corporatists. And it's like, well, who do you root for? Well, you root for the person who's underhanded, but in the end, you're rooting for socialists. They, no one's hands are clean in it. But now you've got the G7 wanting a 15% tax that you can't get away from because it's the whole world. Isn't this what happened in the EU? World War II ended, and the economic zone of free trade begins in European Union. Oh no, we don't want to, rule you or tell you what to do. We just want to have this zone of trade and economic, interaction between everybody. Oh no. Then it wrote, well, now I guess we maybe need to have a kind of a charter. I guess we need some kind of, constitution. Maybe. Oh, and now, maybe we need an army. Maybe we need an army. A military. Do you see where these people go? It took them, 60 years? To go from, oh no, we just need, we just want free trade. We just want, we just want to be able to trade with one another too. Hey, maybe we should build an army. The most expensive, encompassing institution a country can create. Let's create an army. Okay, well, let's just have a worldwide 15% tax on corporations. Well, we need more treaties, and we've already got the institutions here. We can just combine them, and we can turn them into, a governing body or an advisory body. Yeah, it's just for advising. Yeah, that's all they do. They just advise. Well, now, they kind of, we need a little more ability to actually advise people and make people do what we want. Maybe we should have, maybe a International Congress. The IC, the International Congress. Ooh, we like acronyms. IC, the International Congress of Earth, the IEE, or ICE, the ICE, 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 ooh, ICE, what happens with ice? Well, it melts, but it actually keeps people in. Isn't that what ice does now? It keeps people in. Police body funded by the mob that keeps people in and doesn't let them go anywhere. Why does this all sound familiar? Well, because it's fun word games and I'm stringing a bunch of stuff together. But it's possible. And you can't say it's impossible because it's happened in the past. I always come to you so dour. But we're losing. We are losing freedoms. And we don't care. We have a generation behind me, maybe 2 generations, if, the ones born in the early 2000s are not as, they're supposed to be more conservative than the ones that are directly after me. But if they're not, we're losing. And I don't mean white men are losing. I'm meaning free humanity is losing. And we're fine with it. We're content. That's the they will be content with their servitude. Right? It's 1984 is cool and it has a great narrative, but it's Brave New World. It's Brave New World. It's Huxley. But, make sure you get on TikTok. Make sure you take those selfies. And, as everything implodes around you, shake it a little bit. Be cool. Stay safe out there.